Manga fans, this is Rafa from C Manga and welcome back to another review of Bleach. This week's chapter 592, Marching Out the Zombies 3. So this was a fairly short chapter. It pretty much was just showcasing that Hitsugaya, despite being zombified, still has his body and skills fully intact, as if he was still, normal in some regards. But I was kind of a bit, I wouldn't say disappointed, I'd say upset that three characters you would expect to have a bit more limelight were kind of cut down and, might as well say cut out of this fight. And I guess it makes sense because this is probably Mayuri's fight, so the focus all has to be on him. But it was just, I wish they didn't have to get cut down like that. But as I said, it was showcasing Hitsugaya's abilities haven't waned despite him being a zombie, because he's still technically alive. He's just been, in some regards, brainwashed and mind controlled. So Ikaku and Yumichika basically were very shocked to see Hitsugaya in the first place, because I think they assumed that after his battle he just ran out of Ryatsu, that's why they couldn't sense him. But no, in fact he's there in front of them with in his zombified state, and Hitsugaya is about to attack them now, and Yumichika tries to basically use a Bakudo, and Ikaku stops and said, "You really think something like that's gonna stop that?" And he hits him away with his scabbard and basically knocks him to safety and moves away himself. And just as they get to safety, we just see a massive, one of Hitsugaya's ice waves, you might as well say, massive pillar of it. And yeah, luckily Yumichika got away unscathed, but unfortunately Ikaku didn't. His leg was frozen, and from what he's saying, oh, it was better to lose a leg than get killed. So I'm wondering if that's just temporary, or was his leg gonna be gone now. But yeah, he didn't get away unscathed. And to make things worse, Hitsugaya was relentless in his zombified state, that he followed it up straight away and stabbed Ikaku while he was on the floor. And then he proceeded to completely decimate Yumichika in a 4-hit combo. It's like he kneed him in the stomach, he elbowed him on the head, headbutt him, and then he slashed him. And Yumichika did clash blades with him and tried to defend against him. He even tried to release his Zanpakuto, but Hitsugaya didn't even give him a chance to utter the first part of his Zanpakuto's name. So yeah, as I said, they were both cut down relentlessly and out of the action. And I was hoping Yumichika could have released his Zanpakuto, because maybe we would have seen his Bankai, because I can assume that he has one. And it just seems like he seems much more powerful than he's letting on. And I think Kubo's hinted at his power from before, but hopefully maybe he's just been cut down and out for now, both him and Ikaku, for later fights, because that seems to be kind of a running thing Kubo does, where he takes a character out of action for now and then usually gives them some sort of limelight later. So yeah, with them two out of the action, Mayuri analyzes what I've mentioned earlier, that Hitsugaya's body is perfectly fine, and there's nothing, he's moving exactly how he would if he was conscious and awake. And he basically theorizes that Hitsugaya was made a zombie before death, unlike Bambietta, who was made after death because of her zombie-like slump in the behavior. Hitsugaya's moving about freely and fluidly, and Bambietta is like, yes, you're right, it's because the cells are more conditioned, which makes them move better, but also in their unconscious state they're easier to control. And Mayuri, as I said, with his sadistic self, he actually laughs at that and says, "Oh, so I have to ask you, is it any fun to control someone who's unconscious?" And this is when I thought, wow, this is a bit ironic, or kind of hypocritical for Giselle to say. He was like, "No, I'm not it's like, I'm not a sadist, so I can't answer you that." And I was thinking, has this guy forgot what he's just done in previous chapters? I mean, the way he was treating Bambietta was sadistic in itself, and as I said, making all these zombies and talking about these perverted stuff, I pretty much think he is sadistic. So I was like when I read that part, I was like, yeah, right. So I guess it's just Mayuri winding him up, but Giselle, his answer was just whatever, you're sadistic whether you like it or not. So as I said, this is the third person now to come in. Charlotte basically tries and fails to attack Hitsugaya, and it was kind of funny how he was flirting because he was calling him cute and crap like that. He's like, oh, I'm glad I get to attack. And what was surprising was even Mayuri, his calm self was kind of like unnerved at that point, where he even started shouting, saying, no, stay back, you idiot. But it was way too late because Hitsugaya cleanly cut Charlotte down, and he was about to finish the job if not for Mayuri putting up that protective barrier fence. And he was like, you bloody idiots, like, couldn't you tell, that he was you were no match for him, he was much stronger than you. And then he even basically, for punishment, he says you can bleed to death for that. And then basically the chapter finishes off with Mayu basically stating, oh, Hitsugaya, you can't cut down my experiments. And then he realizes, like, oh yeah, oops, I can't talk to you because there's no point because you're unconscious. So then he starts basically saying that I have tons of medicines that I can use on you. And it's like he's really getting excited now because because he's a mad scientist. He's like, I can experiment on you now, this is the perfect opportunity. So he's basically saying, oh, don't worry, Hitsugaya, it's like, you got nothing to fear, I will test these medications on you. He's like, it's all for the sake of Serete. So yeah, that pretty much says it for me, that Hitsugaya is gonna be fine. We've seen Mayuri heal people before in his own weird way, and like usually, obviously, he only heals them for his own benefit so he can get results, but he's most likely gonna heal Hitsugaya. I know a lot of people were hoping he was gonna die, but I just know that guy's got some sort of fan plot armor where Kubo would never kill this guy unless he wanted to suffer the wrath of a mad mob of fangirls or something like that. So yeah, I thought he was fine from before. And as I said from before as well, I think the whole Quincy's being human and alive have to die to be a zombie thing, and then Shinigami's being spirits that have died already comes into play. So yeah, he'll most likely be healed, come out of that, and then this match will end kind of like how the Kenpachi Grammy fight ended. Like, that was basically who was the bigger monster, and this one's gonna be like, who's the more sadistic, crazy person out of Mayuri and Giselle. That's pretty much what it's gonna be, who's the better one at being sadistic and weird. So yeah, as I said, it wasn't the best chapter, it wasn't like wow exciting compared to some of the chapters we've seen, but it was interesting, like certain dialogues, and obviously I'm looking forward to see what these medicines Mayuri is gonna state. But as I said, I was disappointed that Ikaki and Yumichiko got cut down so quickly, and Charlotte. But as I said, for the first two, I just hope that they have better treatment in the future, and they get to redeem themselves and reveal their full power and everything before Bleach ends. And yeah, that's about it. As I said, there's not really much for me to say other than that. Let's see what Mayuri does next week and how this will progress. So that's pretty much it. Chapter was okay, it wasn't perfect, it was a bit slow and drawn out, and yeah, that's all I can say. So you guys know the usual. If you've got any opinions, predictions, comments about this chapter and what to expect next, leave them in the comment box below. And also, if you're new to the channel and you enjoyed this video, subscribe for more content, and I'll speak to you guys next time.